Before getting to the summary, please like, subscribe, and share the video if you find it useful. Thank you and enjoy. Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Foer. Chapter 1. We should remember that brains are trickier to quantify than brawn, and to learn that if we want to have a healthy brain, we should have to eat healthy foods. For example, junk food in junk brain, healthy food in healthy brain. We should also remember that our brain is better than we think it is, and that anyone can go to the US Memory Championship and memorize decks of cards or thousands of random letters, words, and numbers. Chapter 2. We should learn this fascinating fact that when we sometimes study, we may lose 10 to 14% of what we memorized each day. We should also remember that our brains cannot forget and that you have memorized every situation in your life. You just don't know about it. We should remember that our brain is like a recorder. It's organized. For example, when we say we forget about our memories, you never did. You just misplaced it in your brain. Chapter 3. We should remember that everyone has a great memory for something. For example, if a soccer player watches a soccer match, he or she would know what happened than the average person. We should remember that our average things we can remember is 7, but we can improve our memory like 10 or 12. All we have to know is what to do. We should remember that there are ways or tips to memorize things faster, like chunks. Chunks is a way to decrease the number of items you have to remember by increasing the size of each item. Chapter 4. We should remember that there are different types of memories or facts. For example, episodic memories are located in time and space. They have a where and when attached to them, and semantic memories are located outside of time and space, as free-floating pieces of knowledge. These were 2 types of remembering. We should also remember this remarkable fact that we can all remember something, but there are many people who suffer from amnesia, which is a partial or total loss of memory, but they can still remember stuff for as long as they think about it. We should remember that even though there is a disagreement about just how many memory systems there are, scientists generally divide memories broadly into 2 types, declarative and non-declarative. Declarative memories are things you know you remember, like the color of your car or what happened yesterday. Non-declarative memories are things you know unconsciously, like how to ride a bike or how to draw a shape while looking at a mirror. Chapter 5. We should remember there is a useful tool we can use. All you have to do is that all the objects you're going to memorize will pop back into mind. We should remember that the natural memory is the memory which is embedded in our minds, born simultaneously with thought. The artificial memory is that memory which is strengthened by a system of discipline. We should remember that memory palaces, or the method of loci, which is a memory enhancement, doesn't need to be palatial or even buildings. Chapter 6. We should remember that the most useful of all the mnemonic tricks employed by the bards was song or poem. We should remember that finding patterns or structure in information is how our brains extract meaning from the world. We should remember that the reason we teach kids the alphabet in song and not as 26 individual letters is because song is the ultimate structuring device for language. Chapter 7. We should remember that what makes the brain such an incredible tool is not just the sheer volume of information it contains, but the ease and efficiency with which it can find that information. We should remember that our memories, the essence of our selfhood, are actually bound up in a whole lot more than the neurons in our brain. Chapter 8. We should remember that there is a technique called the major system. It is a simple code to convert numbers into letters. We should remember that sometimes when we want to be different and achieve other goals in life, we must do things differently or the results will be the same. We should remember that sometimes when we try to memorize something and repeat it over and over, we lose conscious control over what we're doing. That is called rote memory. Chapter 9. We should remember that Tony Buzan's technique called mind mapping, which is used to visualize organized information, is better than rote repetition because it will improve one's memory or education by 10%. We should remember that creativity is to create something and hurl it into the future, so it becomes into a poem, a building, a dance, or a novel. Creativity is a new future memory. Chapter 10. We should remember that there are other savants, which is a learned person, who don't need to use techniques to memorize things. There are also people who used advanced techniques used during the Renaissance for memorizing books or learning the names of the soldiers. Chapter 11. We should remember that the lack of sleep is the enemy to memory because we need sleep for our body to be energetic and for the brain. We should remember that the memory palace is a memory technique used in the Greek times for where to go or what to buy. The decision is clear. This book is a recommended reading material for all ages. I definitely recommend reading this book. Please like, subscribe, and share this video also. Thank you for listening.